Hi everyone, welcome back to Chapter Clarity. So today I'm going to make a video on the treasure trove story, that is Old Man at the Bridge, which is written by Ernest Hemingway. So Ernest Hemingway, he was an American novelist. Okay, he was an American novelist, and he was also a short story writer and a journalist. And he was born in USA. Okay, so one of Hemingway's shortest tales is Old Man at the Bridge. Means one of the shortest stories. So it is based, what I'm going to explain you is, this is the basic foundation what I would be explaining. This whole story, it is based on this only. It was based on an Easter Sunday stopover. Means there was an Easter Sunday, and there was a stopover at the Abro Bridge, at the Abro River. See, there is a river, okay, and here is a bridge. Okay, so this is Abro River. Okay, Abro, EBRO, and the bridge, that is pontoon bridge. It's not the name of the bridge, it's a kind of a bridge. See, it's a bridge. See, you understood, this is an Abro River. Okay, and here it is a bridge. This is pontoon bridge, PONTOON. It is also given in your story. So what is pontoon mainly? Like whenever there is a pontoon bridge made, okay, there are some boxes taken. Okay, they are filled with air, some hollow boxes. Nothing is there in these boxes except air, except this air is filled in it, and this forms a bridge. Means it is a bridge which is formed by the large hollow containers which are filled with the air. Simple thing. This is sometimes asked in questions, so you have to keep it in mind. So mainly I want to explain you what is there in this story. So here the story, it begins with a chance encounter between a young soldier, that is a narrator. You have to keep in mind who is the narrator, the young soldier who is in the story. That the young soldier, he is a narrator, means the story writer, that is Ernest Hemingway. So there is a chance encounter, means there is, like we say that, we are saying it's a coincidence. There was a coincidence meeting between the young soldier who is the narrator and the old man. Okay, so there was a meeting, there's a coincidence meeting between the old man and the narrator. So they were talking about that. Okay, so the old man, he is wearing quite dusty clothes. Here he is wearing steel rimmed spectacles. Okay, so what do we mean by steel rimmed spectacles? Okay, you see, nowadays the golden colored or the golden framed specs many of you are wearing. Okay, even at my home many are wearing because they are in trend. So he was wearing steel rimmed, means silver colored. Silver colored are also in a trend. So he was wearing a silver colored frame ones. Okay, like this. These were of silver, means not of silver, not of silver metal, silver or silver color. Okay, everything, this frame, it was of silver color. Okay, so he was sitting by the side of a road at the pontoon bridge, and the young soldier, he was on the mission that he have to cross the bridge and have to see that where the enemy has arrived. Actually, this story is based on a Spanish civil war. Okay, a Spanish civil war, and it occurred on 1938. So in this war, the Spanish, they were defeated by the forces of Francisco Franco, aided by the dictators like Hitler and Mussolini. So I'm not going in history, but in this The Spanish people, they were defeated by a person whose name was Francisco Franco. So in this whole story, the young soldier, he is from the side of Spain, so he's a Spanish person. So he was given the duty that he has to check how far the enemy has arrived, or how far the enemy has advanced. Okay, so when the soldier, he crossed the bridge towards the enemy, he found an old man who was sitting at the bridge. Okay, and when he came back after doing all his mission, he saw that the old man, he was still there. So this aroused his curiosity. So what happened? He went to the old man. He asked, "Why are you sitting here?" So old man told him that he was 76 years old. He was 76 years old. Okay, and he was forced to leave his hometown, which was San Carlos. Okay, you have to first learn the age, that is 76 years. Then his hometown was San Carlos, Carlos. So why he have to leave his hometown? Because of artillery fire from the enemy. So the enemies, they have attacked on their hometown, that is San Carlos. So he had to leave. He further told the narrator that he had already walked 12 kilometers and he was too tired to move any further. So what he was, this question is asked mainly that why did he refuse to go further, or why did he continue doing his journey, or continued his journey. So first reason mainly is that he walked already 12 kilometers, he was quite tired. And second reason, that he was 76 years old, so he didn't have that much of capacity. Okay, so I think this question is given in your workbook. Okay, so what happens is we are going to read the story. So don't think that I am telling you the summary and just this would be my video. I would be explaining you each and every word, each and every letter of that word. Okay. So up to this you understood that he was saying, I'm tired, I'm 76 years old, I have to leave the San Carlos, that is my hometown, because of artillery attack by the enemies, and I have walked 12 kilometers and I was so tired. Okay, so the old man, he said that he was the last person to leave the town. Why was he last person? Because he was anxious for the safety of the animals. He was, so the old man, he had three animals, three sets of animals, we can say. He had two goats, he had one cat, and he had four pairs of pigeons. Four pairs of pigeons means 4 into 2, 8 pigeons he had, but you have to write 4 pairs only, don't write 8 pigeons because that's wrong. Okay, so he told that he was the last person to leave the town, because when, like, you have any dog at your home, any pet dog you would be having, so whenever you're going somewhere, you have such a great bond with it and you want to take it everywhere you go. So he also wanted to take, but he was unable to. So he said that he had no family, he had just his pets. Okay, so the old man, he was unconcerned about the threat to his life. His life was in a danger. He expressed his concern for the safety of his animals. So he was like he was talking in the story, it looked like that he was having a great bond with those animals. Okay, so he talked a lot about his animals to the young soldier. He admitted that there was no need to worry about the cat. So he told that why do I need about the cat? Because the cat, it can just look after themselves. You can see the cats, they can look after themselves. No one is just keeping the cats at home, but the cats, they are growing. How? Because they can look after themselves, they know how to just feed themselves. And since he had left the dove cage unlocked, so where the pigeons, they were locked in the cage, he just unlocked that, so that the pigeons, they should fly for their safety. But he lamented the fate of two goats, means he was very worried about two goats, because they cannot look after themselves, even they cannot run. Okay, you know the goats, they are not the animals who run very much, or who know how to look after themselves. We have to take care of themselves. Okay, so the narrator, he was very concerned for the old man's safety. The young soldier, he was very concerned for the old man's safety. So he was talking about, so one time one word came, politics. So he was asked that you are about you have any relation with the politics. So the old man replied he had none. Okay, so the narrator then he advises the old man to cross the bridge and catch a truck towards Barcelona. Okay, so he told that a truck is going to Barcelona, you have to just catch the truck. But the man replied that he did not know anyone there. So he told that I don't know anyone in Barcelona, so why should I go? However, the old man, he thanked the narrator for his suggestion, for his advice. He thanked the narrator, and he continued to express his concern. So, in the whole story, he was expressing his concern for the animals, means his pets. Has two goats, has one cat, and four pairs of the pigeons. So the narrator, he reassures the old man, saying that the animals, they would be fine. He also knows that animals cannot be fine. He also knows that goats would not survive. But then also he just to just assure him, to just make him calm so that he may not take tension. He says that animals would be fine. The narrator told the old man to get up and walk. So he told to get up and you have to walk now, because the enemies, they would be coming anytime. So the old man, he tried to get up and walk, but he was too weak and tired and sank back to the ground. Means he was very weak and tired, and then he again sat on the ground. The narrator, he thought that the old man's only luck was that cats would look after themselves and day was overcast. So the enemy who were advancing towards the bridge would not be able to launch their planes. So he was saying to the narrator what he thought, that the old man's only luck was that his cats would look after themselves, and his doves, that is his pigeons, they would fly for their safety. And so the day, it was now overcast, means the sun was directly on the head. And so the enemy who were advancing towards a bridge, and they would not be able to launch their planes now. So what happened at the end, that the enemies, they were unable to launch their fighter planes at that place. So it was the luck of the old man. What was his luck? First, his cats were saved, his pigeons were saved, and the third thing, that the enemies, they were unable to launch their fighter planes. So this is all about the story, and now we would be discussing about the story in detail. Okay. So this is a story given by Ernest Hemingway. This is an important story in your workbook. Many styles are given, and many things are given, so you have to keep that in mind. So an old man with steel rimmed spectacles. I told you what are steel rimmed spectacles. That are the frame which is of silver color. So he had silver colored spectacles, and he had a very dirty clothes, and he sat by the side of the road. There was a pontoon bridge across the river, and carts, truck, man, woman, and children, they were crossing it. So there was a pontoon bridge also across the river, means on the river, and many carts, trucks, men, women, children, they were crossing that. And the mule drawn carts staggered up the steep bank from the bridge, with soldiers helping push against the spokes of the wheels. So what happened is, this line means the mule drawn carts, means the carts which are drawn by the domestic animals, like yeah, having donkeys, okay, like that. Okay, so they just moved fastly to to cross the bridge with the help of the soldiers which were pushing them. which were pushing the wheels of the carts. Okay, so the truck it ground up and away, heading out of it all, and the peasants plodded along in the ankle deep dust. But the old man he sat there without moving. So there a truck also came. There were many peasants in it, and the peasants they were having their ankles very dusty. Ankles, it's a part of our foot. Okay, so their ankles or the part of their foot they were very dusty, full with dust. But the old man, he sat there without moving. All were moving, all were very concerned about their safety, about their life. But the old man, he was not moving. He was very tired to go any further. And next, what happens? These are the lines of the narrator, that is the young soldier. It was my business to cross the bridge, explore the bridgehead beyond, and find out what point the enemy has advanced. So, what was his mission? That he has to cross a bridge and check how far the enemy they had arrived. So I did this and returned over the bridge. So what he completed his mission and he returned to the bridge. There were not so many carts now. So there were not many people now, not many carts now, and very few people on the foot. Means very few people were moving on the foot. But the old man he was still there. So now very less people were there, very less carts were there, but the man he was still there. So next, what he asked, he approached the old man. He asked, "Where do you come from?" So the old man he smiled and said, "From San Carlos." So okay, one question was asked that why he smiled. Why he smiled? Because he was proud of his. It gave him the pleasure when he spoke his hometown, native town. Okay, so this question is asked. Okay, that was his native town, and so it gave him the pleasure to mention it, and he smiled. I was taking care of animals, he explained. So he directly started that I was taking care of the animals. Okay, so next, like, see, I have told you the story, but if I would haven't told you the story, you would have understood that I was taking care of the animals. What he was explaining from directly only. You know why he just directly started with the animals? This shows his concern for his animals. This shows his concern for the safety of his animals. Okay, so what the young soldier said. Oh, I said, not quite understanding. Oh, so he told, okay. So but he was unable to understand. Here it's given not quite understanding, means he was able to understand partially what he was saying, not properly understood what he was trying to say. Yes, he said, I stayed, you see, taking care of the animals. I was the last one to leave the town of San Carlos. Okay, so he was saying yes. Then he told that I was taking care of my animals. I was the last person to leave the town of San Carlos. He did not look like a shepherd nor a herdsman, and I looked at his black dusty clothes and his grey dusty face and his steel rimmed spectacles and said, what animals were they? So what happened is, then when he was telling about his animals, so what mostly comes in our mind, that this person would be shepherd or he would be a herdsman. Herdsman is what? Who is taking care of the herd of sheep, goats. Okay, but he did not. He's just the young soldier. He observed the old man, but he was not looking like a shepherd or any herdsman. So he looked at his black dusty clothes, his grey dusty face, his steel rimmed spectacles, and said, what animals were they? So now he was curious about knowing what animals were they. Various animals, he said, and shook his head. I had to leave them. So he just shook his head and told, I had to leave them. And he also replied that I have various animals. So he was, what happened next? I was watching the bridge and the African looking country of the Ebro Delta, and wondering how long now it would be before we would see the enemy. and listening all the while for the first noises would signal the that would signal that ever mysterious event called contact, and the old man still sat there. So he was just continuously staring on the bridge. Okay, he was seeing the African looking country of the Abro Delta and wondering how long it would be before we would see the enemy. So he was saying that enemy can come anytime. So he was really very concerned for the safety of the old man. So he was saying we would not be, he was thinking, not he was saying, okay, he was thinking that I would not be able to stand here for much time and talk with him. And so, and listening all the while for the voices that would signal that ever mysterious event called contact. So he thought that the old man, he's still sitting here, what would happen of him, because if the African looking country of the Abro Delta means they are the enemies, okay, if they came, then they would kill the old man. Okay, so he asked, what animals were they? Okay, later. There were three animals altogether. He explained there were two goats and a cat, and then there were three pairs of pigeons. So he told that I have three sets of animals, two goats, one cat, and four pairs of pigeons. And you had to leave them? I asked. So he was asking, you had to leave them? He asked. Okay. Yes, because of the artillery fire. The captain told me to go because of the artillery. So what the old man was saying, that the captain, he told me to leave this hometown because of the artillery attack by the enemies. Okay, so next what the young soldier asked, and you had no family? I asked, watching the far end of the bridge where a few last carts they were hurrying down the slope of the slope of the bend. So what he was doing, so what was happening, that he was saying, you had no family. And what was it, when he was asking this question, he was continuously staring at the bridge, because the last carts they were hurrying down the slope, and so he was really scared that only we are left. Okay, no, he said, only the animals I stated. The cart, of course, will be all right. The cat of course will be all right. A cat can look out for itself, but I cannot think what will become of the others. So what he said, no, I have no family, only the animals which I had. So he told that the cat, they can look after themselves. So he what later told, that I don't know what would happen of the other animals. What politics have you? I asked. Politics means what how you any relation is there with politics? So what the old man replied, I am without politics, he said. Okay, he said, I'm 76 years old, I have come 12 kilometers now, and I think now I can go no further. This is not a good place to stop, I said. If you can make it, there are trucks up the road where it forks for Totosa. So what he told, that I am without politics, I am 76 years old and I had come 12 kilometers now, so I am tired. So next what the young soldier said, this is not a good place to stop. So what he next told, if you can make it, if you are able to, then you should, there are some trucks standing there, and you where it forks for Tatosa means where it divides into two parts for Tortosa. Okay, Tortosa, it's a city in Spain which is located at 12 kilometers above the sea level by the Ebro River. So it's a city in Spain. So he told that truck, it's going to Tortosa. I will wait a while, he said, and then I will go. Where do the trucks go? Okay, so he told that I will wait for a while and you tell me where the trucks go. So he says that towards Barcelona. Okay, so they are going towards Barcelona. Okay, I told him, I know no one in that direction. So he told, I know no one there. He said, but thank you very much. Thank you again very much. So he thanked him for his suggestion. Okay. He looked at me very blankly and tiredly, then said, having to share his worry with someone. So he was, the old man, he was looking very blank, very tired by his face. Then he said, having to share his worry with someone. So like we are having any tension, we want to share it with someone, but we are unable to. So he was anxious to just share his worries. The cat will be all right, I'm sure. There is no need to be unquiet about the cat. But what about the others? But now, what do you think about the others? Okay, so what the young soldier replied, why, they will probably come through it all right. So he told that they would probably save themselves. So the old man, he replied, you think so? So he was asking, you think so? So the young soldier told, why not? I said, watching the far bank where now there were no carts. So now, firstly, there were some carts going, and now he was watching the bank. There were no carts, means no any type of carts or trucks. But what will they do under the artillery when I was told to leave because of the artillery? So he asked the old man, he told that what will they do under the artillery attack? If the enemies attack, what would they do? Okay, so the young soldier asked next question, did you leave the dove cage unlocked? I asked. So he told that, have you unlocked the cage? And the old man told, yes. Then they will fly. So he told that they will fly, no need to worry about them. Then what the old man told, yes, certainly they will fly, but the others, it's better not to think about the others, he said. So he told that what would happen of the others? It's better not to think about them, because when he would think and think, he would be in more tension. If you are rested, I would go. Okay. So he say, when if you have rested now, then I would go. I urged. Urge means he requested. Get up and try to walk now. So he told, you just get up and try to walk now so that I may also go. So this shows his concern for the old man. Thank you, he said, and got to his feet, swayed from side to side. Swayed from side to side. And then what he told, and then he sat down backwards in the dust. So he just first stood, and then he sat down backwards in the dust. So he was not having that much strength that he would stand and move. I was taking care of the animals, he said dully, but no longer to me. I was the only taking care of animals. So this also shows his concern for the animals. He's continuously repeating about his animals. I was taking care of animals. I was only taking care of these animals. There was nothing to do about him. It was Easter Sunday, and the fascists, they were advancing towards the Ebro. What is fascist? These were the political leaders who supported fascism. So I would not be going to fascism also, it's quite long term. You can say that fascists, they were the enemies. Okay, so what is fascism? It's an extreme political system which favors a strong central government at which does not allow any opposition, like just the king. Okay, like here we have the elections, there is opposition also, but fascists were the people who believed that there must be only one and only one government, there must be no opposition. Okay, so the fascists, they were advancing towards the Ebro, so the enemies, they were advancing towards the Ebro. And it was Easter Sunday. You have to keep that in mind. It was Easter Sunday. It was a grey, overcast day. Okay, so it was totally overcasted with clouds. It was a grey day. with a low ceiling, so their planes were not up. So because of the clouds and because of some sort of little rain, the fascist, their uh, fighter planes, they were unable to fly. That and the fact that the cats know how to look after themselves was all the good luck that old man would ever have. So what he told, that the old man, he had these three good lucks, that his cats would take care of him, and the pigeons would also fly, and at that time the enemies, they were unable to just fly their planes because of the gray overcast cloudy day. Okay, so this was all about your story. It's quite easy story, but I saw your workbook. I think most of you would be having the workbook of beta publications. Okay, I have workbook on Treasure Trove Volume 2 Short Stories ICSC by Xavier Pinto and P.S. Latika. So in this, there are many symbolism given. You understand, symbolism means there are some points which just symbolize something, like the bridge. Okay, what does a bridge, this pontoon bridge or any bridge, old man at the bridge, okay, what does this bridge symbolize in the story? It symbolizes that the point of no return for the old man. This is given on page number 44 in the workbook. If you need this, I can get you the PDF. I have uploaded the telegram link also in the comment box, but if you want, I would also upload it in the description box. And if you are unable to just join that telegram link, you first download the telegram app and you open that link through the telegram app. Okay, so this bridge in the story, it symbolizes the point of no return for the old man. If he crosses over, he may be safe, but he must give up all that he loves in the San Carlos. If he stay, however, he would most likely share the fate of the animal he cared for in San Carlos. So what this shows, that no return for the old man. The point of no return for the old man. You see, if he crosses the river, if he would have crossed the river, then he would be safe. But he would be taking tension of his animals only, whole the life, whatever life is left. And if he would not, then also he would die. And even this bridge is a symbol of uncertainty and danger. These are the feeling most of the people have during the wartime. In contrast to it stands the fact that the story, it takes place on Easter Sunday, which is a holiday. It stands for hope and faith. So the Easter, it stands for the hope and faith in God. Okay, so on one hand, so what the day, it's described as gray overcast day with low ceiling. You see here, gray overcast day with a low ceiling. Why? The gray color, it's symbolic of old age, sadness, and something boring. By this sentence, the story writer, he tries to establish an atmosphere of sadness, loneliness, destruction, which was brought about by a war. See, whenever there is a war, who suffers the most? The people suffer the most. Okay, so this Hemingway is trying to show with the gray overcast day. The gray color, it shows old man, it symbolizes old man, sadness. Okay, whenever you see a cloud, okay, whenever you see a cloud, you feel sad. Okay, so it symbolizes sadness, loneliness, destruction. Okay, so the animals, now you see pigeons are there, what they represent? Peace and harmony. And the fact that they fly away from the war is a reference to the refugees who flee from the war to a safer place. See, if a pigeon, it moves to a safer place, for the safety of it from the war, है ना. So this is a reference to the refugees. Refugees are the people who are flying from the war to a safer place. So the pigeons, they represent peace and harmony. The cat, it's a symbol of independence. So it shows that it doesn't need anybody to survive. The goat, it symbolizes sacrifice. It is used as a sacrificial animal, and this represents the old man and his situation. Like a goat which is sacrificed, the old man's fate is also seen. So the goat, it's somewhat representing the condition of the old man. Just see, like the cat, the god, it gets sacrificed. Like this only, the old man's fate is also sealed, means over. Okay, then next, what does that symbolize more? What next? Okay, irony. Irony, it's manifestation of double meaning. It's persistent in Hemingway's story. Okay, so like in The Old Man at the Bridge, the action of the story is set on Easter Sunday, which is the day when Jesus Christ rose from the dead. That is on the third day after he was crucified. Thus, Easter is symbolically viewed as welcome time of rebirth, renewal, possible change. However, for the old man who was sitting at the bridge, this day meant inevitable death. See, Easter is the day of rebirth. Easter is the day of rebirth. So, what does this? And the old man, he was going to die, death. So, this is an irony. Okay, rebirth and death, they are totally opposite from each other. So this is called irony. Then next, the image of the resurrected Christ is like the image of the old man doves being released from the cage, both being the symbols of hope and peace. Like the image of the resurrected Christ means the rebirth of the Christ. It's just like the image of the old man's pigeons who have just released from the cage. They are the symbols of hope and harmony, peace. So the soldier, he is not hopeful about the old man's fate. He remarks that all the good luck that old man would ever have was the fact that the artillery planes of the enemy could not fly that. So this only he told, that the only good luck he had, that the planes, they were unable to fly on that day. Okay, so the old man, he's also worried about his animals but not about himself. In fact, his animals have a better chance of survival than the old man. See, the old man, he's concerned about his animals, but the animals, they have more chance of survival than the old man. So this shows irony. Okay, then next what's important, that is the themes mostly they are asked. First theme is pointlessness of the war. Pointlessness of the war. First up, one of the main themes of this story is the pointlessness of the war. The Spanish Civil War, it forms the background to the story of Hemingway. It has depicted in the story how in the times of war the the humans, they act inhumanely to his own race. Means the human, they have no humanity for his own people, for the human people, other humans. War causes destruction and death, and this is highlighted through the condition of the old man, who can be seen as a symbol of civilian victims of war. So, what is the old man? He is symbolized as civilian victim of the war. Civilian victim of the war. The old man, he gives meaning to his life by taking care of his animals, but war takes away everything from him. So, what he had, only his animals, but war, it took everything from him. He now sits alone by the side of the road. He is as helpless as his goats. He cannot escape and is too old and tired to save himself. Forced to flee his town, the old man now sits near the Ebro River. He surrenders to his fate and waits for his impending death. This is our first theme. Then the second theme is compassion. The theme of compassion is reflected through the nameless soldier. Compassion, do you know what is compassion? Compassion is sympathy, daya. Okay, so who is being compassionate to the old man? The young soldier. Once the soldier explores the region to observe the advancing of the enemy, he sees that the old man, he was still there. So he asks him trivially that where do you come from? At the beginning he seems little interested in the old man. Then he starts to feel pity and compassionate. First, what we see that he was curious to know about him, and then we see that he starts to feel pity and compassionate. Okay, they two engaged in a conversation about the animals. The old man tells him that there are two goats, a cat, four pigeons, four pairs of pigeons. The old man, he's neither concerned about the cat, as cat they can independently protect themselves, nor the pigeons because they can fly, as the soldier tells him that they would fly. The old man, he worries for the goats. Similarly, the soldier, he worries for the old man. See, the old man, he was worried for his goats, and the soldier, he was worried for the old man. The soldier, he became a friend in need of for the old man. So he was just like the friend. With him he can share his worries. Okay. Okay, perhaps it's the old man's first contact and conversation with another person since a long time, and he's happy that someone is interested in him. Okay, and so the soldier, he also tells the old man to reach the other end of the bridge and advises him to flee as soon as possible. He urges the man to get up and cross the bridge. The man tries, but he fails. The soldier feels sorry for him. Thus, the story ends with the old man's concern for the ghost and the soldier's concern for the man. So, this was all about the story. It's quite easy story. I explained you even the workbook part. So, if you want, I would also explain the question answers. Okay. Thank you.